The weekly battle for supremacy in WWE between Raw and SmackDown continues, and we have the highlights of both shows along with this week's poll results on PWR Battle of the Brands, exclusively right here on YouTube. Thanks for joining us, folks. I'm Damian Nelson, sitting alongside David Hero, and let's kick it off by talking about this week's WWE Raw, where Brock Lesnar was the headliner, making his big return to receive an RKO out of nowhere.
Huge for Brock Lesnar to sell, right?
Absolutely.
When was the last time you saw him laid out?
It was so great, though. It's been a while. It was so great, though, to have Randy Orton just appear out of nowhere and drop that RKO on Brock Lesnar. But Paul Heyman's words were a little different this past Monday night.
Were they enhanced?
I can't answer that, but he seemed to be more let's see, authentic, if you will. A little bit more Brooklyn.
Why do you say that?
He had more.
Well, he did get a new contract.
Okay.
So maybe he just, felt recharged.
Speaking of contracts, Jinder Mahal, David Hero.
Yes.
I'm a little surprised by him being back on Raw.
They need talents on both brands.
Is that right?
They do. You just can't have 15 guys, 20 guys on each show.
Well, why not SmackDown for Jinder Mahal? How long has it been since we've seen Jinder Mahal?
Why do you have a problem with Jinder Mahal?
I don't have a problem with Jinder Mahal at all.
Why would you want to put him on SmackDown?
Because SmackDown's the wrestling show.
And you're saying that Jinder Mahal is more of a wrestler than a sports entertainer?
I'm saying that he can do both, but he would probably be he'd probably be better suited
Jinder
amongst the talent pool on Raw.
WWE
on SmackDown
career was kind of a parody with the 3MB.
Not his entire career. The last part of his career was.
Yeah, which is the one that sticks out the most. It's what you remember the most.
For those with short memories.
My memory is short, but it's very good.
What was your highlight of Raw this past Monday night? The highlight of the night.
It was probably Randy Orton.
RKO out of nowhere?
Yeah, it was great.
You didn't get the shirt? Hashtag out of nowhere?
I think the shirt's bland.
It's basic in its design, but it
Not
works.
like an Uggs type basic and pumpkin spice stuff, right?
Uggs? Like the shoes?
Yeah.
You wear those?
No, but I've heard about that basic stuff.
Pumpkin spice?
Yeah.
Was that one of the Spice Girls?
Ask Linda and Julie. They know about basic stuff like that.
Well, from there, we had SmackDown on Tuesday, where, again, Brock Lesnar made news by F5ing out of nowhere Randy Orton.
But see, how did Randy Orton not see him? I mean, he's there.
He saw him. That was a bit of a disconnect because he saw him reacted to it.
Yeah.
And then, well, he got distracted by
Fandango.
Yes, and then that gave Brock Lesnar the chance. Now, the realism behind this I thought was good. Shane McMahon, Daniel Bryan, we know Brock's going to come. Here's security. Make sure he's, doesn't get in, all this other stuff.
How does Brock get in the building without a ticket?
Well, maybe he bought a ticket. I mean, they probably had some available.
But he doesn't just walk in through the main entrance.
Why not?
They don't scan his ticket.
Why not? He's Brock Lesnar. Here's what I love about this. Brock Lesnar, I think, obviously, these two are going between the two shows because of the match at SummerSlam, but Brock Lesnar, and we talked about this before the draft, should be able to go wherever the hell he pleases and do whatever the hell he wants. I think that would be a great story that can exist outside of the brand split because Brock Lesnar is that guy.
He's the beast incarnate, and Randy Orton's going to have his hands full.
Dolph Ziggler maintains his spot in the SummerSlam main event by defeating Bray Wyatt in the main event matchup after being challenged as his whether or not he should even be in the matchup by Seth Rollins. Not Seth Rollins, I'm sorry, by Dean Ambrose earlier in the night.
Dean Ambrose questioned if he should be in the matchup?
Question is Ziggler should be in the matchup, yes, absolutely.
But why? He beat AJ Styles.
Well, he said basically some of the things you've said in the past, which is that Ziggler hasn't done anything in the last couple of years. And Ziggler made this point, how he started off as a cheerleader in WWE.
Well, he was actually a caddy before then.
Was he the caddy?
He was Kerwin White's caddy.
Really?
Yeah.
Kerwin selfies or?
Kerwin White.
Ah, got it. Okay.
Where do you get selfies from?
So,
My take?
Highlight of the night from SmackDown.
It was the in-ring promos between AJ Styles and John Cena.
Fair enough, folks. Well, many of you chimed in on Twitter with your thoughts on this week's shows, and let's get to one of those comments at least. And a YouTube user by the name of @NickyKnuckles22 said, and I quote, "It looks like people may have actually seen the light. SmackDown has been doing a better job of building characters 2 weeks in a row."
I agree completely.
Well, the results are in, and the fan voting this week on Twitter, and SmackDown took the win with 65% of the votes to Raw's 35% of the votes. Now, last week, Raw took the win with 79%, so the shows are now tied 1-1 in the voting. But that's what the fans picked, which was SmackDown David Hero. What show would you give the win to for overall presentation this past week?
I think when I look at a show, I want to go with the show that had the most heat, and that was definitely SmackDown.
SmackDown.
SmackDown, yes.
Okay. Well, I would tend to agree with you. SmackDown gets the win, and the win from you, me, and the fans.
Oh, it was the big victory. And you know what the thing is people were let down by Raw. You know why?
What's
because
that?
there were no surprises. Last week you had Finn Balor dominating. You had Sasha Banks dominating. There was no big shock and surprise or shock and awe or anyone new dominating on Raw. So the fans like, oh, it's back to the same old Raw again. You can't have Finn Balor beating everybody every week.
Well, folks, that's it for this week's Battle of the Brands. Tomorrow night, we've got a brand new Feedback Friday, and also on Saturday, a brand new edition of Primetime. So be sure to tune in and subscribe here on YouTube to never miss an episode and have them delivered right to your inbox, and you never miss a show. For that one, this is Damian Nelson saying we'll see you tomorrow on Feedback Friday.